Hi guys, how are you doing? So today we're going to talk about why you can understand English but can't speak. I already made a video about this, but I wanted to talk more about this topic. So today we will continue talking why you understand English but can't speak. Pronunciation. So guys, pronunciation plays a big role when you understand English but can't speak it. So pronunciation can be difficult in English. So maybe you can speak because of it. So English pronunciation has so many reduction, connected speech. So if you don't practice it, it may be difficult to make the sounds. It may be difficult for you to make the sounds. I think pronunciation plays a big role in our confidence to speak English, because when we know that our pronunciation is good, it gives us motivation to speak more. It gives us motivation to have more conversations in English because we feel proud of our pronunciation. We feel good, because we see that we pronounce this word correctly. And I feel like sometimes when we don't speak at all, or when we are afraid of speaking, it's because we think that our pronunciation is not good. We think about our accent, and this all plays a role. When we think that our pronunciation is not good, we feel shy to speak English. So we are afraid to speak because of our pronunciation, because we think that our pronunciation is not good, and we avoid speaking. We tend to shy away from situations because we don't want to see that we can't pronounce these words. So we avoid speaking, we avoid pronouncing these words. But what we should do is exactly practicing these words. We have to practice in order to get better, in order to improve our pronunciation. Knowing that you have some work to do on your pronunciation, it's a better way of improving. It's a better way of knowing that you have to practice in order to become better, in order to improve, in order to get your English to the next level. So if you want to improve your pronunciation, you gotta practice. Because when you are practicing, you see where you can improve, where you can focus your attention on. For example, if you have a hard time pronouncing the R sound, practice the R sound. That's how you will learn, by practicing, by speaking these words. In order to speak, you have to be able to make a sound. That's how you will learn, not by shying away from situations. If you practice, you get better. Pronunciation is a skill that we get better along the time if you will work on it. In order to improve, in order to get better at it, you gotta practice, you gotta study. Not knowing something just reinforces you to learn it. Just make you focus your attention on that thing because you know that you don't know it. So you give that specific thing more attention to learn. So practice words that you can pronounce, practice sentences to get used to connected speech. And once you can pronounce words well, your confidence starts to grow. Your desire to speak English starts to grow. Your motivation to speak English starts to grow. And if you are confident in your English, you have motivation to speak more. You want to speak more. You speak because pronunciation is that. Pronunciation is a big part of our language. So let's talk about grammar. So the other reason why you can't speak in English because of grammar. You know every grammar. You know everything. But when it comes to speak, you don't speak it. So you know every grammar, but you don't know how to put it in a sentence. Sometimes you can't speak because you are over-focused on grammar. You want your grammar to be perfect that you forget the conversation by itself. You forget the point. You forget the message that you want to get across. So studying grammar is not wrong because we have to know grammar to be able to structure our sentences, right? I actually like studying grammar. When I started to learn English, I would study grammar on this app. I would have this app and I would study grammar. So it was like a game app. Those apps were like a game app. So it didn't felt that I was learning at all. And that's how I learned so many verbs, so many regular and irregular verbs. It was more like I was playing, That's why I like studying grammar. It's because I've always learned it in a funny, relaxed way, I've always learned it in a simple way. I've never been over-focused on grammar. I always choose to learn grammar in a simple way, in a way that I know that I can understand and I can enjoy. And I also would study grammar whenever I would have a question. So let's say when I was reading, or maybe when I was learning on Duolingo, whenever I would have a question, whenever I would see a grammar structure that I didn't know, I would search it. I would learn grammar whenever I would have a question on something. Whenever I would see this grammar structure over and over, and I would be like, it's time to learn about it. It's time to search about it. I didn't make grammar the center of my language learning journey. And you will pick up grammar as you learn. You will learn grammar as you learn English, because if you are consistent in your English, you will learn grammar without even know. You will learn grammar without even knowing that you learned grammar. You are learning grammar. You are consistently learning English. You are consistently seeing sentences, words in English. So you will know the right structure, the right grammar without even know. It's like as soon as you say a sentence in a wrong way, you will know it. You will know it because English is a part of your life, because you are used to English every single day. You will learn eventually as you go, as you learn, because the more you expose yourself to English, the more you learn. Learn grammar, but don't make it the center of your English. Just the one part of other many parts of your English, because English is about so many things. English is about so many things. You have reading, writing, listening, speaking, pronunciation. So all these are important to speak English. It's not wrong to learn grammar. We just have to know how to learn it and when to learn it. Because why to learn about present perfect if you don't know how to use simple present? So each thing in its time. So speak, guys. You will improve along the way. Like I'm making this video, I make mistakes, but I speak and I improve like that. And I know that I will improve because I want to speak. I learned English to be able to speak. So I'm making videos, I'm speaking, guys. I make mistakes, but it doesn't stop me from speaking. So just speak. You will make mistakes, but it's the way we learn. We see our mistakes and we learn it. Our mistake reinforces us just to learn more, just to practice more, and to focus on that thing. What's the point of knowing grammar perfectly if in a real conversation you don't know how to use it? So what's the point of knowing grammar perfectly, but when you want to speak out, you don't speak? If you can speak, why knowing perfect grammar but you can speak? Speak, guys. Improve your speaking skills. So the other reason, when you speak, you still compare your native language to English. So guys, your native language is not English. Your native language is one language and English is another language. So don't compare so much these two languages. Don't be like, why this is like that? So I know that English is not Portuguese. I'm learning English, so I focus my attention in English, in this language. So I don't compare too much these two languages because they are different languages. So don't compare so much these two languages. I used to compare a lot English to Portuguese, but then when I realized that they are two completely different languages, you can find similarity, but you don't have to compare everything. You don't have to compare everything because you are learning another language. Don't try to speak English the way you speak Portuguese or your native language. Languages are different. Sentences are different. The structure of sentences are different. So don't get too much in your head comparing, asking question, why in my native language is like that, why in English is like that, because it's a different language. So you are learning English, this is the language you are learning, so don't compare too much to languages. Just learn English as the way it is. And I hope you like this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, comment down below what did you think about this video. Comment down below like ideas of videos that you want me to make, and follow me on my Instagram, Joana English 8. There you can ask me your English question and I would be so happy to answer your question, guys. So I see you in the next video. Bye.